Hey, welcome back to Excellence in Sales for Mattress One. My name is Art Dominguez, and I'm here, you can't see it, but I'm in a room full of district managers and ATMs, and we wanted to bring you some of these short training videos to hopefully help you increase in sales and average ticket and in your closing ratio. So we wanted to start off today talking about negotiating. In a perfect world, when we go through our presentation and we ask for the sale, the customer always says yes. However, we don't live in a perfect world, so there's going to be times where we do need to have a flexible cost or price associated with that mattress that we're showing, i.e. negotiating. A couple of things that we've seen or I've seen going around showrooms, speaking to different RSAs, and watching different RSAs through my career and myself, and going through visiting these last few weeks. I've been going through about 25 different stores. Is one of the hardest things that we experience as a retail sales associate is when a customer asks us for the price on the bed, and we have two directions that we can go. The sales or the customer will say, is this the best price, or is this the price? Any of those sorts of phrases. And we have two choices at that point. We can either assert that absolutely it's the best price. Actually, three choices. We can assert that it is the best price, it's the only price, and it's easy when it's a Tempur-Pedic, right? Because a Tempur-Pedic, there is no fluctuating in price. There's some gifts that we can do, but the price is the price. We can then say that, yes, this is the only price. We can say, well, I can see what we can do. We had this promotion, and you can go with the discounted price. Or we can go ahead and start heeing and hawing, well, I don't know, let me see. Whatever you decide, if you're going to say, yes, it's the best price, or no, I can actually have a coupon, or I have something from a previous sale. Whatever it is you decide, the worst thing you can do is actually start stuttering and hesitating, because it eliminates all credibility. It eliminates credibility. So it's important that whatever you do decide, whichever direction you go with that, that you be firm. Now, that being said, one of the hardest things for a retail sales associate, for an associate to do, is when they have committed to a price, whatever that price may be, whether it is the price that's on the bed that's being shown, or the advertised price, or they're saying it's this coupon price is the best price, is that once we have given that price, if the customer then says, well, okay, well, let me have your card, what do we do? What do you do? It is one of the hardest things as a sales associate to come back from that, because of the fact that we are afraid to lose face. We're afraid to lose our credibility that we hopefully have gained up until that point. So if you say, yes, this is the best price, and the customer asks you for a card, if we start going, well, let me see what I can do, you start losing credibility. And many, many times I've seen it, and I've been guilty of it, we let that customer go with meat on the bone. That meat on the bone, that we could still do something better, but we don't, because again of that fear of losing that credibility, that face walks out the door. That meat on the bone is what feeds our competition. That meat on the bone that we let walk out the door is money out of your pocket. It's money out of our pockets. It's money out of the company's pockets. So how do we address that? We need to do it in a way where we can still maintain our credibility, still maintain our relationship with that guest, so that it doesn't seem that all of a sudden now you're some kind of a con man or con woman just trying to get a deal. So we want to be able to negotiate credibly. Okay? And before I get into that, I do want to touch on one point, and I've seen this on occasion. When we do negotiate, when we do come up to negotiate, it should be initiated by the guest. The negotiation or the request for a better price, it should be initiated by the guest. Too many times I've seen this. A guest walks into the showroom and they look at the price of the bed, and the salesperson says, oh, don't worry about that price, I can do you much better. There's been nothing, no qualifying, no presentation, nothing. We're already talking price. If you do that, don't, please. because you do lose all credibility in the customer's eyes. So how do we keep credibility? How do we gain that, or keep that customer's trust if we've gained it up to this point? So if we've said that the price is the price, it's the best price, there's 3 rules in negotiating that you want to keep, adhere to, so that you can maintain that credibility with the guest. The first thing that you need to understand when you're negotiating, if a price objection is the case, it is never, and it is never, ever, ever you. Right? It's never you. You are not the keeper of the gate. You are not the one that holds the key to the kingdom. You are not the one that can determine what the price can be negotiated or dropped to, if it can be dropped or negotiated at all. There's a reason for that. If it is you, then you've changed that relationship that you have with that guest. Up until this point, if you've done it correctly, you have gained a trust. You are partnering with this guest to find the right solution, that perfect mattress. When the price issue comes up, if now you begin saying that you're the one that's been holding out, that you're the one can actually negotiate, and you're the one that can actually give them a better price, but you haven't up until this point, your relationship changes. The relationship now becomes one of, instead of being partnered together, you're now in opposition of each other, because they need to, well, I need to deal with you in order to get a better price. So the first rule you need to understand when we're negotiating, it is never you. It is, you are never the one that can discount the bed. Even if you can, okay, just so you understand, even if we know we can, it's still never you. It is always they. I don't know who they is, but they. It could be a district manager, it could be corporate, it could be a manufacturer's rep, whoever you want they to be. It is that entity that is the holder of the savings. So something like that may go into, well, Mr. Customer, that is the best price that we're allowed to give. I don't know, I don't have anything else that I can offer. However, we sometimes have promotions that I may not be aware of, and this is just an example. We may have promotions that I may not be aware of. Let me see if my district manager, let me see if the manufacturer's rep, let me see if there's anything that's available that I'm not aware of. And you take some time and you can use that. And again, that's just one example. But it is always someone else that has that ability to save to discount, right? The second thing, there should always be a reason, a credible reason, why it's being discounted. Why is the price being discounted? It could be, and again, it doesn't matter so much the reason why as to the fact that there is a reason. It could be things that I've used. It could be anything from the law tag being off kilter. You know, Mr. Customer, I don't know if this is still available. We had some mattresses that were delivered into our warehouse with the law tag, instead of being centered, it was off kiltered, off to the right, off to the left. Those beds are going to be sent back. I can see if there are any still available, and if there are, they had them at X amount of discount. And again, that's just an example. You can make the gusset on the pillow tops a different color, or there was an overstock situation. The reason doesn't so much matter as long as there is a credible reason that you can give as to why you're discounting this. It could be a previous sale. It could be, well, I don't know if this is still available, but we had this on sale last month. The manufacturers were giving us additional incentives or rebates. I can check and see if they would allow it. So you have to have a reason as to why why we're giving that drop. Because something changes in the customer's mind versus, and this is just an example that I've been given years ago, if you were buying a car, and let's say a Toyota Camry, and the salesperson says to you, hey, buy this car right now, I'll save you $5,000. You may, maybe not, but if that same salesperson said to you, this is a Camry, they're pretty much price protected. But there's some Camrys that came in with, instead of a silver colored engine, they were painted black. Those cars are going to have to go back to the factory to get repainted. However, they've given us an incentive. If we sell those just the way it is, you can save $5,000. Now, that may or may not work, but it's different something changes in that customer's mind where instead of being, well, this person's just trying to snag a deal, they're able to take advantage of a situation. They're able to, it's called FOMO, fear of missing out. They want to take advantage of something. So it's a different motivator, and it's a much more effective motivator. The third thing to keep in mind, there has to be some kind of urgency. Let's see. There has to be some kind of urgency. There has to be a time limit. It can't be just a free-for-all, come back in a month, and it's still going to be there. If you are doing something about a previous sale, or whatever the excuse or the reason is for that savings, there should be an urgency attached to it. They're allowing us to do it for the next 48 hours. They're allowing us to do it now. Whatever the reason you've given, you want to give a sense of urgency. Now is the time. Now is the time to do it. Today is the time to do it. All of these things are set up, are designed to set you up for a phone TO. The phone TO, and I cannot stress this enough, it is one of the strongest tools that we have as sales associates. It really is. It's one of the strongest tools we have as a sales associate. It does separate us from the competition because most of the time, most competitors don't do it. And it allows the customer to see that we are working for their business. We're trying to earn their business. And it keeps that relationship intact from the beginning. That relationship of working together to find that perfect mattress, you're still working with that guest. You're still on that guest's side to find that right mattress. You don't change it, you don't change that relationship into a relationship of opposition to each other, right? So again, like always, just reviewing it real quick, it is never you. You are never the one that gives the discount. Someone else authorizes it for you. There has to be a credible reason. Practice it, come up with different reasons. There's a million and one. The reason just has to be somewhat believable, and it has to be, it's more important to have a reason rather than, well, what is it? Have a reason why the drop, and some kind of urgency. We want the business now. We don't want the business a month from now. We want the business now. If you follow this, again, it's not going to guarantee 100% closing ratio, but I promise you it will increase your closing ratio. It will help with your average ticket, but more importantly, it will increase your closing ratio. You will get more closes out of it, and at the end of the day, that's the name of the game: increasing our closing ratio and average ticket. All right. So, like always, if you have any questions, please email me. It's art.dominguez@mattress1.com, or any comments or any suggestions.